Do we have a next question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, that's good.
I will start reading the questions from the chat.
Thank you.
How will they get their Zoom links every day? Will they be in Seesaw?
So I don't know how the kindergarten teachers did this last year for you all, but at least in my classroom, I had one Zoom link for every single meeting I had with students. And it was always sent out in my weekly plan. If parents sent me a message and asked for it, I would send it again. And I believe I will have it posted in multiple locations: Seesaw, email, weekly planners. So I will point out where that is for you all, and it will always be the same link for at least my classroom. I can't speak for the other teachers.
Okay, Miss Alt and Marina, give me a thumbs up when ready for the next one. Okay, great. Next question. First graders are not tech savvy. What help is available with technology for students and for parents?
I can answer that, and I'd like to just piggyback on Miss Amy. I will also be having just one Zoom link account for students to log on to, so it'll make it easier. But to answer the technology, which will kind of piggyback off of Mrs. Hastings, the teachers will be giving little mini lessons to the students of how to get onto, or once they're in Zoom, how to work the different controls in Zoom. We'll be giving mini lessons of how to get to Dreambox and using, not Dreambox, yeah, Dreambox and Bookshelf, and Seesaw, so that the kids will have those mini lessons to do, and then also just additional support from you at home. And then these lessons will be ongoing if students are having trouble also.
Okay, next question. 8:30 to 2:30 is a long schedule on screen. Is it possible to make the assignments off screen?
So our plan is to have students on Zoom in the mornings, but doing a mini lesson and then them, stepping away and getting to do their activity on their own, and then coming back. And assignments will also be, if team, you can help me out. Assignments will also be available in Seesaw for them to be able to access if they're not able to make it to the class mini lesson.
Something to add to the schedule, not only do they have an hour lunch break, but there's also a half an hour where they are involved in the special rotation and can go to a recorded music or PE lesson, or have a live PE or music lesson, and multiple built-in breaks where everyone is off screen for a while. And also from listening to the first grade teachers talk before, having small group work where some kids are working independently off screen and some are in a small group on screen with their classroom teacher, and perhaps going through different rotations. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to be off screen as well as on between 8:30 and 2:30. Did specialists want to jump in, since I mentioned being part of the specials rotation?
Let's wait for interpreters to catch up.
Sure, I'll jump in for PE. So for PE and music, your students will have one live lesson with us on Zoom for 30 minutes per week. And then there will also be a asynchronous lesson on Seesaw. There's 30 minutes blocked out for that time, but especially at the beginning of the year, they may not need that whole 30 minutes. And so that will be once a week also. If you're curious to know when your specials rotation is for PE for your student's classroom teacher, I can quickly just throw out my schedule. If you are in Miss Amy's class, you will have your live PE lesson on Mondays from 12:45 to 1:15 with me. If you are in Miss Bayless's class, you will have your live PE lesson on Tuesdays from 12:45 to 1:15 with me. And if you are in Miss Smith's class, you will have your live PE lesson on Thursdays from 12:45 to 1:15 with me. And if you're in Miss Wagner's class, you will have Mr. S for your PE lessons.
If you'd like to know your music lessons, you've probably heard from Miss DeGandy that the time block is 12:45 to 1:15. That's pretty consistent all the way through the week. Miss Bayless is on Monday for music live Zoom classes. Miss Amy is on Tuesday with me. Miss Smith will be on Friday, and Ms. Wagner's class will be on Tuesday with Mr. G, Mr. Gustafson. And then they'll have an alternating day where they do their Seesaw lesson. But the real thing here that is great is that they'll have extra time, especially at the beginning, to complete those assignments on top of that 30-minute block where they have focused time to do it. And during those live lessons, I know that the specialist teachers will be going over a little bit on how to complete that assignment and how to be successful in these classes, so that parents don't have to worry about being a PE specialist or being a music specialist. All of that support should be provided for your student.
Okay, I got the thumbs up. We're ready for the next question.
Okay.
Is there a Zoom app on the iPad?
Does anybody know the answer?
I don't know if for the iPads that we handed out there is one. I do know that on my teacher iPad I have a Zoom app. Do you know, Mrs. McNamee, if they've downloaded?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen them, so I'm hesitating. I want to say yes, because I believe everything was loaded that we expect the kids to access, but I haven't seen it myself. If it's not available, we will make sure it is.
Yes,
We're getting clarification in chat that there is the Zoom on the iPads.
Parents know more.
Okay, next question.
I have one, Ms. Hastings, if we're ready.
I have a lot. I was just waiting for a thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay.
Marina and Brianne, are you ready?
Everyone's ready. Yep. Okay, we're good to go. Is there going to be additional support, reading and writing, for students who speak another language other than English?
Yes, there will be. I'm the English language development teacher, and I get to go into all the first grade rooms, and I'm a co-teacher. So I teach with the teacher, and I'll be teaching each day in the classroom. And also I'm going to be working with small groups with English language learners as well. So there'll be lots of support for English language learners.
Ms. Hastings, I have a question that was sent just to me. May I ask, jump in and ask that? Some clarification around small groups mentioned. Are they going to be at the same time by different teachers, or will there be staggered sessions?
I can answer that question. The first few weeks or the first 2 weeks of school might look a little different as we're doing a more soft start to the schedule, but eventually we are going to get to a schedule that is set and hopefully will be consistent for families when doing small groups.
And they may have a different teacher depending on their needs. So like if they need a little extra reading help, they may have a teacher help with that, or language help. So it just kind of depends.
Okay, next question. Is there any flexibility with the afternoon schedule if kids want the option for offline work?
I don't know if there's a way to get that clarified. What's the option of not doing the work or not attending a small group? If they don't, I'm not sure what the question is focused on. I don't know if there's any way to clarify that.
Maybe we can speak to how we'll take attendance.
Which, okay, then I can answer maybe it having to do with attendance, that there's twice that we'll be taking attendance, in the morning and then in the afternoon. But if a student doesn't attend a small group meeting, or they haven't completed their work in the afternoon, there is the flexibility to do that in the evening when it's convenient for the family schedule. And if then the next day, the teacher will be looking to see if assignments were completed, and then we can correct that attendance that might have been rectified from that afternoon. I hope that answers the question.
I would like to add when our interpreters catch up. So Marina, am I ready to, can I keep going? Thank you. I would just like to add that the expectation will be that students are participating in what capacity they can in the morning and again in the afternoon. We want to build their stamina over time and persist with remaining online for the entire school day as the teacher's schedule as it is designed, but just knowing that it won't be constant from 8:30 until 2:30. It will be on and off multiple times as students cycle through groups, through mini lessons, through specials, through lunch and breaks, but building stamina over time.
I just want to add on that the Seesaw activities that you're going to be, that your child's going to get, they are going to have a lot of the option to get the instructions on Seesaw and then do it away from the computer or away from the iPad, and then take a picture of it and put it on the iPad. So those are the times when you would be able to have less screen time.
Okay, there was one question about list of items needed or required, and it looks like Mr. Nelson put a link in the chat for a school supply list, but he can also touch on that.
Yeah, so I will link the school supplies again. It's a basic standard list of supplies that your children can access at home to help them be successful working from home. We also have a couple of supplies that would help kids engage, including headphones with a microphone, so that they can interact with their peers and interact with their teachers. Elmonica has some student success kits here at our school available to parents and families that are in need of school supplies. And we have quite a few kits. Our pickup for them is tomorrow from 2 to 4. And so you can drive to the school and you can pick up one of those kits if you are in need.
Okay, our next question is about books. Will they get hard copy books that they can use for reading with their classroom teachers, or is everything online?
I'll answer half of that question. Our LMA, Library Media Assistant, is currently working on a plan to get our library books in the hands of our students, where students can request books to be checked out and picked up by parents, or we might even have bus stop delivery. But we are working on that plan. It's a few weeks away.
I can speak a little bit more to that as well. One thing that I do for my parents is I do share different resources where you can go and get either hard copy books or other places to borrow books. And actually, our Washington County library system is really, really wonderful. It allows you to borrow books online and go pick them up. Similar to what I guess our library media assistant and Mrs. McNamee are planning. And I think my team's goal, one of our goals, is to try and get books into kids' hands that are physical copies. However, we are still working on our plan on how to get that to you safely.
Okay, the next question is, how long will there be teacher interaction with kids per day?
Well, the students will log on in the morning for about a 30-minute or so community building time as a whole class. And that's a time when the students get to share and find out about what the activities are for the day. And then there will be mini lessons in the morning for reading and writing and math, and then in the afternoon, and then after the mini lessons, students will be doing Seesaw work or independent work, and then in the afternoon, we're looking at having small groups. So there'll be different times of the day where students will be interacting with their teacher, whether it's whole group or small group, as we move into a more solid schedule.
Okay. Does the
No,
student need an iPad or a laptop?
An iPad. All students are issued a school-issued iPad. The importance of that is it has all of the apps, like Zoom, that we want our students to access, and it's managed by the school district. So there are some privacy settings that will make it safer for our kids. One reason why we couldn't do it last spring, when they went out of network, we couldn't lock them down. So yes, we want all of our K through 2 students to have a school iPad.
If you have a Chromebook and need to trade it in for an iPad, you can reach out to our tech support. Is it the help ticket? Greg, you're going to put the link in the chat? Awesome. Stephen is wonderful. He is very responsive. He was distributing more iPads today. We have a question now about attendance and what if a student is late some days.
I can answer that. So our plan is to take attendance around 9 o'clock every morning so that if students are late, it's noted. We will be able to still say that they attended. And then attendance in the afternoons won't be taken until fairly late, just in case students submit assignments later on.
Can I add to that? Because I'm wondering if this question is pointed towards, will the student be able to get onto Zoom? And there's a waiting room that the teacher will be looking for that notification, or we have a co-teacher. They can be looking for that notification to let your child in so that they don't wait all day to get in. So we will be looking for that.
Okay, next question. What is the plan for writing classes?
So every single day, whether it is in live Zoom or we're watching a recorded video, there will be a writing lesson with an activity. I know as for my class, I would prefer that kids write on paper with pencil or some kind of writing, and then take a picture of it and post it on their Seesaw so they can practice actually writing. If they don't have those materials, then doing it with their finger on the activity is just fine.
Okay, is it acceptable to wear a mask in Zoom calls? My child will be attending via daycare. Mask is required.
I'm wondering if you might want to invest in one of these little handy dandy face shields, only because classroom teachers may need to be able to hear this or see their lips and their mouth to help with reading. And I'm thinking specifically for kindergartners and first graders and our students who have challenges with articulation in their speech. Perhaps check and see if this would be acceptable at the daycare. We will take kids with or without masks.
Mhm.
Okay, the next question. Is it necessary to complete all assignments the same day? If the kids are tired, can they submit later or next day when they finish the assignments? I think, can I answer this one? I mean, we want everybody to do the best they can, but we know that this is going to be hard. Of course, they can send the assignments whenever they get to them.
I think the important thing to remember is because we are taking attendance twice a day based on whether a child comes to a Zoom lesson or if they do a Seesaw activity. So try to aim for at least one of those so that your child is not absent, and just do as much as you can.
Okay, we have another, oh, I'm gonna wait 1 second just to get a thumbs up from our interpreters. Okay, we have a question about attendance and what to do if your child has an appointment that cannot be scheduled outside of these hours. And I think that you can just email your classroom teacher and that is perfectly fine. It would be like an excused absence, and as long as they're in the loop, that's fine. What is the criteria for performance assessment or evaluation of the students? What things should parents be aware of and what efforts are required from parents for assessment and performance?
I would just say to kind of answer that question is one thing we've been talking about in first grade is we're trying to build independence. And so having your child try things out by themselves. And we've also talked about like a lot of times kids make their B's and D's backwards. And it's great to point that out to them. But sometimes with their writing to just kind of let us see what they're able to do. And then we'll build on it for that. But I know that's not the total answer to the question, so if anyone would like to add more.
I might just add that school is looking a little bit differently than it did last year. So I think that some of the assessment we are still developing of how that's going to look for us as teachers assessing your child. So we're still the standards and what is expected of students remains the same, but how we go about that is going to look a little bit differently. So we're still working that out. I don't know if that helps you.
Okay, we have a question about where to get a QR code.
The QR codes will be distributed to teachers soon, and they will send them out to their classes.
Will I need to connect the iPad to our family Wi-Fi?
Yes. If you are having trouble with Wi-Fi, that is an opportunity to contact the student help desk, which I think Mr. Nelson put in the chat. And also Mr. Nelson, Ms. Hastings, myself, and our school counselor will be following up to make sure that all families have connectivity.
Is there a list of book names for first grade? Where do we get it?
I think most of the books that we'll be using in first grade, the teachers will be sharing via video. I know last year the first grade teachers made videos of our read alouds and we shared them out with students. Other than that, I would just suggest that you and your child explore the library website or Bookshelf or some of the other apps provided by BSD on where to access books.
Watching the time, we have about 5 more minutes of questions.
Okay, we have plenty. Okay, we have another question about what to do if we didn't get the school iPad yet. Email the, click on the link that Mr. Nelson put in the chat, and that will go directly to our tech support staff member. His name is Stephen. He will respond right away. But this question is a good one. Does it need to be a school issued iPad? We have our own iPad that we were using.
It doesn't have to, but the student help desk will be less likely to provide support for something that's not given by the school district. And I also saw another one, it's the same question. Yes, you can use your personal device, but again, it might not have the same functionality, and the student help desk may have difficulty providing support if things aren't working for you.
Can I add on really quick, Kelly?
Of course.
And also the school district remotely pushes out applications. So if the first grade team decides that they found a new app that they want kids to partake in, we can do that from our side and it will automatically update your child's iPad.
I found these on Amazon. I think it was a 10-pack for about $25. I think you can buy in smaller quantities. Do we have any more burning questions, Ms. Hastings?
We have one about internet. I can respond to that one personally. During class time, if kids want to go to the washroom or need to get up for something, do they need to ask for permission first?
I can take that question. I would prefer your child at least gives me a heads up. It can be a quick little chat, a private message to me saying, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, Miss Amy. Most likely I'm not going to be like, no, you can't. However, I do ask that your child not take their iPad or device into the bathroom with them. and just leave it where it is. They can even turn off their camera and mute themselves for privacy.
Excuse me. Sorry about late, but I want to ask you that my child is not good at English. Actually, he doesn't know everything. Yeah, he is Vietnamese. So, do you have the somebody to help him with the class?
Yes, I am the English language development teacher, and I work with all the classrooms, but I can specifically help more children who need it a little bit more. And so I can be on the lookout. And I'll be able to help as much as I can.
I'm going to wrap up our meeting because our specialists are continuing on with a second grade meeting in a few minutes. But I want to say thank you to the parents for some great questions. You asked some good ones this evening. Thank you for engaging so deeply. And I would like to thank all of the classroom teachers and our specialists who are here today. Know that we are learning sometimes alongside with your children as we become better at comprehensive distance learning. So we have the patience, we have the empathy, and we have the understanding that this is not easy. Not easy for you as parents, not easy for the kids, and not easy on the adults. But we've got this. We can do this. So have faith and trust and ask questions when you're confused. So with that, I'm going to say good night and thank you so much for joining us for this question and answer session. Goodbye, families. And Marina and Brianne, thank you very much for your support. Goodbye.